I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Whirlwinds fell, long journey to the capital city. It's a long wait while I'm sitting in committee. But I know I'll be alone. Yeah, and I hope and pray that I'll be. But today I'm
This is Bill Scher on the Liberal Oasis radio show, WHMP, News, Information, and the Arts. Just as Obama gave his first public pitch for the American Recovery and Reinvestment Plan, the economy takes another one to the chin, a horrifying jobs report, another 524,000 jobs lost in December. That is 2.6 million jobs lost in 2008. That is 1.9 million jobs lost in the last 4 months. A dire situation which only adds to the urgency for government action to get the economy back on track, to mitigate the pain of the now year-long recession, and make sure that we are on a sustainable path in the long run. A couple of very important elements that came out of President-elect Obama's economic address from Thursday. Number one, after Ronald Reagan coming into office in 1981 saying government is not the solution, government is the problem, after Bill Clinton trying to justify his programs by saying the era of big government is over, Obama very explicitly said, we need government to act to rectify this crisis situation. There is making no bones about that. Secondly, there's been a lot of chatter this week about a component of Obama's plan that may contain a lot of business tax breaks and a lot of criticism that those tax breaks would not be efficient economic stimulus. Yet I counted in Obama's address on Thursday 12 planks that were the fundamental components of his plan, and business tax cuts were not there at all. They were completely unmentioned in the address. Now, that's not to say that it's untrue what the news reports were saying. Obviously, they've been discussed on Capitol Hill, but it says to me that they are not the core element of the plan if they end up in the package at all, and we're not even sure that they will. That is clearly a negotiable part of the plan, not the core elements, which are public investment in clean energy, energy efficiency, traditional infrastructure, broadband, healthcare, education, school construction, 21st century classrooms, and certainly a tax cut geared towards the middle class and the poor. Those are, and I should also mention aid to state and local governments, which is very critical. Otherwise, state governments will be forced to make devastating budget cuts that could undermine whatever happens on the federal level. Those are the key elements of the plan. And that's one of the reasons why my group at Campaign for America's Future, ourfuture.org, we have put out the call on our website to contact Congress and tell them to pass this plan immediately. Timing is critical. Delay is an enemy. The longer we wait to get this public investment in the pipeline, the less impact it can have to mitigate the pain of a recession we're already 1 year deep into. So we don't want to get stuck into, we don't want to get bogged down and delay passage of the plan. Now, that's not the same as saying, shut up and don't criticize anything. And in fact, I think what's happened this week has been very productive. You had these leaks about business tax breaks happening on Monday. You had a fair amount of criticism bubble up online, led by economists like Paul Krugman and Dean Baker. That criticism has percolated up to Capitol Hill. You've seen senators express their concern that this is just not a productive, efficient, effective use of dollars. And as a result, it does not end up in Obama's address. We have news reports saying that Obama's economic aides came into the Senate, heard the criticism, and the response was message heard loud and clear. Maybe they'll end up in the package in lesser form. Maybe they'll still be there for political reasons. I don't know. But it's useful to give that constructive criticism. And Obama said on Friday that he's more than happy to take constructive criticism and have that help shape the plan. The concern that I have, and you see this in the media reports of this, it's one thing to have constructive criticism. It's one thing to have thoughtful deliberations while swiftly crafting a plan. But the media's bias, we always talk about liberal bias or conservative bias. The media's bias is often towards conflict. They like conflict, and they play it up, and they sensationalize it. So you have key senators saying, hey, I'm not so sure about these business tax cuts. Now this becomes completely blown up as, plan in jeopardy, massive delays, bogged down. When you can have a couple weeks of discussion. When the initial expectation was Obama wanted to have the plan on his desk January 20th. Then the House says, we can't get it done January 20th. We can get it done by early February. Oh no, big conflict. Might take 2 weeks longer. That's not a major conflict. That is just normal democracy in action. And we should be part of that democracy. We should be raising our voices, and we should be helping shape the plan. You don't want it to get bogged down. You want to make sure there's enough pressure on Congress so it doesn't get bogged down. But let's not take any utterance of concern and allow the media to overhype that and allow actual conflict to metastasize when that conflict isn't even necessarily there. Hopefully what will happen here is this plan will get passed by early February, and people will see that, you can govern. You can have one party majority rule in Washington. That does not mean that there is no internal discussion, that everyone's a bunch of sheep, that there's a whole lockdown on debate. You can have debate and discussion that is productive and still allows you to govern in a timely, effective way. I hope that's the path that we're on, and that's the path that we should be on. But we do want to make sure that there is pressure on Congress to act fast. If there isn't, it is in the conservatives' interest to stoke conflict, to create factionalism, to make it hard for things to get done quickly. Because if this takes a long time and the money does not get pumped into the economy quickly, it will have less of a short-term impact. Now, there's short-term and long-term reasons to do a package of this size, but certainly you want to show some evidence that's working in the short term to instill confidence. Conservatives are going to be looking to say in the summer, you see, it's not working. I told you it wasn't going to work. If they can have as much delay as possible, they have more of a chance of that political perception taking hold. So I urge you to go to ourfuture.org. I urge you to tell your congresspeople to pass this plan immediately. And I urge you to make sure that your voice is heard online, on the radio, letters to the editor, what parts of the plan you don't like. Just don't let that stop momentum for getting the plan done, because you see these job numbers and you know how urgent action has to be. And you can be sure from Obama's address on Thursday that he is in the general, he's hitting the general target. Public investment in America's foundation is what this plan is actually based upon.